What is happening, guys? Welcome back. So this is a bit of a weird one. I'm trying to film things at different episodes with other things going on, and we've still not finished the previous episode that you'll have seen, the last episode we've just bonded the floor ribs down, and then we've got to insulate it, but we can't do that until these have gone off. So we're moving on to the next thing. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is fitting the windows, but to be able to fit the windows, we need to sort this mess out here. Now, I've taken the sliding door rail and the sliding door off. Pretty simple. 2 bolts on the bottom rail. There's a bracket here that you remove, and the top roller, if you pull it forward from that bit there, that slides down, and then you can just wheel the back roller out, and the door comes straight off, and it's only 2 bolts and it comes off. It's quite heavy, but it comes off. You need a hand getting it back on. But that one's off. And what we've got to do now is sort this mess out here, which is from when we had deadlocks on the van. Now, this is obviously on the outside of the van and would be seen, but won't be seen because we're going to have windows bonded over. So that isn't a major problem. We're going to do that. I'm going to get some of the same colour paint just to paint it so that we know it looks about right. And then here in the door shut, this is going to be seen when the door's open. So what I've done is made some little steel pieces that are now, they've all been cut to shape, sorted, and they've now been primed on the back, and these will basically fit in that hole. We'll weld them up, grind them flat, prime them, fill them, and then paint them, blow them in. Meaning we can then get the windows cut out. So, yeah, but I can't do the windows straight away because we need to wait for those to go off, because we need to get inside to cut bits out. It's all a bit of a mess. You have to do things in different stages. But anyway, I'm going to grab the welder now. We'll get these tacked in, get these welded in, get them ground back, so that they're done and sort of going off. We can get a bit of primer on them today. Maybe you can chuck a little lick of filler on them. And I need to order the paint. I need to ring Mark at HQ because I can't remember what colour he said this van was, because the sticker that's on the seat that tells you all the spec of the van is disappeared. Well, it's on there, but you can't read any of it. Natural grey, I think he said. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with that. Let's get this bit welded up, and then we will get on with getting the windows fitted. Right, made a bit of progress. So we've got that all welded up. I have then etch primed it onto the bare metal area. I've then filled it. I've put a layer of like skim filler on the 2. I've flatted that back with, just took top off with 180, and then sanded it down a bit better with 240 on a block. And I have now just thrown some primer over the top, which needs another about 5-10 minutes to go off. And then we will wart that over with some 400 to get that back and keyed, ready for us to then throw a bit of colour on, blow some colour into it, and then we'll blow the lacquer in, and hopefully it will be a good enough repair. The beauty of this is that you're never really going to see that unless the door's open, and you're never going to see that because the window goes there. So whatever we do really can't go wrong, but I wanted to try and paint it so it looks half decent. What we're going to jump on with now, I've already done the sliding door. As amazing as or as silly as it sounds, I've had so many vans, I've had windows fitted to so many vans over the years. I've never actually fitted windows to a van myself. I've always paid people to do it, mainly Blake at Transporter HQ. But yeah, it's time to give it a go. So I've been over to Transporter HQ yesterday and borrowed a few bits of kit. So we've got this here, which is like a nibbler, which is going to cut, or a shear or whatever, which you're going to cut the shape out with. We've got some aviation snips to tidy it up. While I was there, may have picked up a little box of exciting stuff. So we've got those. I'll go through explaining what I'm going to do. But we cut this one out. This was the first one that we cut out yesterday. The opening isn't absolutely bang on. There's a little bit of a wave in it in the middle, but it's good enough. It will do a job. So I'll move the van over. I want to get this panel cut out before we paint it, because I don't want to go, if the paint's got to leave it for too long, to go off. So we'll cut this panel out first, we'll move the van, then we'll cut the other panel out, and then we can work out what we've got to do with bonding it and everything. I'm really not too sure, but I'm sure we'll work it out. So let's get the GoPro out, get these cut out. And there we go, we've got one holy van. I would highly recommend going and watching Transport HQ's video, which I will put a link to in the description. That's the one that I watched, that's the one that I'm going to follow. You can still cut them with a grinder, etc., but you just have to mask up a little bit more to obviously stop the sparks going everywhere. And before we have comments, doing that yesterday to get sparks all down the side of it, we're going to iron out and clean it all and sort it, and it's going to get painted eventually anyway, so we're not too worried about it. But window opening's in and done. You can probably see I've been round and stuffed some insulation into the crevices and whatever, and that was just a bit left over. Done the same to this side, we've got it in here, and then silver tape gone over and silver taped any holes that are in it before carpeting, which is the thing that we're about to start now. So the reason that you do that is because down in these bottom corners you've got the vents that basically mean that the glass won't pop out of the doors and whatever when you go shutting the doors, and that allow air in and out of the vehicle. And if you don't go taping these holes up, basically air will come in and out of all the holes through the carpet. Carpet acts like a filter, and you get little dirty marks all over the carpet. So if there's going to be a hole in the metalwork that you're going to carpet over, make sure that you tape them up. And I use aluminium foil tape, because it's really, really thin, really, really sticky, and it goes into different shapes and contours very, very easily. That roll, 50 mil wide, 50 metre roll, it just cost me about £4.50 from Tool Station, so it's not expensive. But the next thing we're going to do, I've got my carpet cut, is we're going to start carpeting the metalwork. Now, the reason that we're going to do that now is we've cut the window out, so we want to carpet up to it. Then we'll go around and trim off, I think it's 20 or 30, 20 mil maybe, so it overhangs this edge. And then when we've bonded the window on the outside, your carpet will fold into that gap there, and it'll finish off the edge nicely and be done that way, so you don't have to have any knock-on trims or anything, and it's just a neat way of finishing it. So that is the next thing that we need to do. The last time I carpeted anything was the Caddy, which was over a year ago, so we'll give it a go, see how we get on. Hopefully it's like riding a bike. There we go, both sides are carpeted, looking mega. Turns out it's like riding a bike. I might have got it in the air a little bit, and all over my hands, because you do, and your fingers, it pulls your nails back, pulls your skin back from your nails, and it hurts your fingers. But anyway, they're in and done. one of the best tips I'd say is use the heel of the knife to get it into all the corners and all the tight bits. And as long as you've got enough glue on it and you've let it flash off for long enough, push it in and it will stick. Massive thank you to Transport HQ for supplying me with that carpet. Really, really good stuff. I'd never used it before. I've used other brand or another brand. I'd never used this stuff before. Great stuff. Really forgiving. Goes in where you need it to do. As you can see, we've got all the details. We've gone front to back, both sides in one piece. Check out their website, transporthq.com. It's on the screen. I think it's transporthq.com. Use the code Chambers or Chambers 5. Can't remember. It's on the screen to get yourself 5% off your order. Massive thanks to HQ for working with me on this project. Something else I've done that you may have spotted is I've cut, there's normally a lip at the bottom here that picks up the bottom of the ply panel. Now I've cut that away. Reason being, I don't want the fridge sticking out into the van when we do it. I did this on my last van, albeit I did it when the van was built and I had to take it to pieces. I want to build the cupboards and have the fridge so that the fridge is set back into that recess. It's probably only going to save us 70 mil, but it will stop it from hopefully protruding out into the van. Just gives a little bit more room on the floor down here for activities. So I am done for the day. I'm absolutely knackered. We've managed to get a bit done, not a lot. It's probably we've done a bit. We've got a bit done. But yeah, home time. We'll be back in a few days because I've got a lot of family things going on at the moment. And when we come back, I think the thing we're going to do, first off, is wipe all the spray glue off the sliding door that I've managed to get all over it. Second off, I think we're going to carpet the sliding door while it is off the van. But I'll explain more about that when we do it. So, see you in a few days or in a few seconds. And as ever, a few days later, we're back in and done a little bit more. This has got paint on it, and it's hardly the neatest or best job I've ever done in the world, but it's the same colour. There's no big hole there, and this bit here is ready for the glue to go on. So that is that bit done. And what I'm going to do now is something that a lot of people, well, most people don't do. I did it on my original T5 and liked it. I don't like being able to see paint or painted surfaces inside the van, like the body colour of the van. I want it all to be carpet and all to be neat. So while the sliding door is off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carpet the sliding door. Now, I have seen people do this in the past, but people do it wrong. So on the van, taking it off now, but the door seal that goes on, the rubber door seal that goes on the frame, that touches against basically this flat edge here all the way around. So you need to cut it basically to this inside edge, straight down, and then to that inside edge there as well. Because if you don't do that, or if the carpet is more than sort of halfway maximum in the middle of the door rubber, basically when it rains, if the carpet is to the outside of the vehicle, the carpet will get wet and it will start rotting and smelling of damp and whatever. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to have a go at carpeting the inside. I did my first one when it was on the van, so doing it off the van, it should be a little easier. Anyway, it'll make sense when I've done it, so we'll throw the time lapse on and get this door carpeted. And there we go, that is that carpeted. Now, like I say, you've got this flat edge here. I don't know whether you can see it. There's a roll that the panel that goes into. You want to go to that edge. This needs a little bit of straightening up, but that is actually a little dent in the little bit in the door. We've cleaned all the edges up and got them looking pretty straight, to be fair. But it just means that when the door's closed, you're not going to see any metal around any of this lot. Maybe a little excessive, but we've got the sliding door off. I've done it before, so we thought we would do it and see if it was any easier having the door off, which it is, really is. So the way I trimmed it was, obviously your carpet comes along and is hanging all the way over here. Sort of pull the carpet up, but so that it pulls it back, so that the bit that isn't stuck is up, and the bit that is stuck, and just make sure you push it right into that neat edge. And you've made a pretty neat edge with your tape already. And then I was running a Stanley blade on its own with no holder, pretty much flush down to that piece of flat metal that we were trying to trim to. And that has trimmed it back and is pretty neat. Hopefully that explanation works. What I've then done is I've gone round with some thinners on a rag to clean the little bit of excess glue off that may have came over, and to soften the edge of the carpet as well. And then we've done the same thing as we've done with the carpet now. We've left this a little oversized so we can fold it around, and it'll create a nice neat detail to the window. So that is that bit done. Next thing will be sling that door back on, and just like that, sliding door is carpeted and back on the van. It is doable on your own. The way I explained it, we took it off in reverse. So door is back on and all sorted. You might be able to see that side. We've already got the windows in on this side, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, I've never ever done this before, so I wanted to get one in before I started trying to sort of explain what's what. I think I mentioned it earlier in the video as well. Go and watch Transport HQ's video on bonding windows. That is the one that I'm following. I don't really know what I'm doing. They appear to be stuck and appear to be okay. So we'll get the GoPro somewhere, because apparently I like collecting rubbish, and I've left the key for the van at home, so we can't move it. So we'll do the best thing that we can, get the camera in here as good as we can, and get these windows primed and bonded in the van. There we go, that is the other side of windows fitted in. Now, like I say, I don't know exactly what I'm doing with them. I've followed their Transport HQ's video. They're stuck on, they seem to be okay. As long as you clean both areas with the wipes that they provide, put the glue on in the right way, don't block the drain grooves for any sliding windows that you may have, you should be okay. Got them pretty much flush to the outside. Now you will notice that this is a solid painted window, so you'd never see through this window because it's solid painted, because that panel behind it is solid. What we've done is left a 4-inch gap top and bottom in the adhesive, so that any water that may get in can get out, and glass and metal expand and contract at different rates to stop that from shattering. So leave a gap in those. We've fitted the strip that they supply with the windows as well, the rubber strip, to create a nicer detail. We've got a sliding window that isn't in the correct place. The sliders, or isn't in the usual place, I should say. These sliders are normally at the front, and then on the passenger side we've got no sliders at all, both glass obviously through. And the reason for that is, knock that out, we've got and that one as well. It's too tight down here. Should have moved the van. We've got two. So this sliding door window and that sliding window that's been fitted there are going to be replaced with another prototype window that is coming pretty soon. But we just wanted to be able to move forward with the project as is. So we've put these windows in temporarily, and we'll get somebody, because I'm not doing it, we'll get someone to remove those windows and put the new windows in when they arrive. So coming on the inside then, earlier in the video I mentioned that I'd left the carpet long because we were going to fold it over, and this is what you get when you do that. So you basically leave the carpet a little bit long, you tuck the carpet in between the outer skin and the glass, and you get a pretty nice neat detail, and you've got no need for any knock-on trim. This one will be the same, just needs trimming back a little bit. And now we've carpeted the sliding door, that one's the same as well, and you'll see it's pretty much all carpet, and where the seal goes is going to seal on there still, do what it needs to do. But we've just got a nice carpeted door on the inside that looks much better. I thought we'd get the van outside and just show you all of it dents in the sunshine, and it looks trick with the windows in. I do like a panel van, but I've got to say I do like a van with the windows in as well. It just makes them, I don't know, there's something about it. There's something about it. It's been a couple of days since I fitted the windows, and I've purposely driven the van, and it's been raining and all sorts, and Happy to say they're not leaking, not from that, they're perfect. From where I fitted them, they're not leaking. We must have got glue all the way around. But the windows are in, looking awesome. And I've got to say, driving the van with those windows in is completely different. You've got so much more visibility, and they make the van feel absolutely massive inside. Even Rich commented on it the other day, got in, and I can't say the word he used, but it felt a lot bigger inside. So, windows are in. You might have spotted front end's changed again, but anyway, that's that video done. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out transporthq.co.uk and use the code CHAMBERS5 to get yourself 5% off your order. Right, until next time guys, enjoy.